think that was a very good snapshot, though complex, of the various schools of Buddhism. But I think the interesting point is about the common origin of the Vinaya. Okay. Just to continue the dialogue, Venerable, I think despite the fact that we acknowledge there are different schools of traditions we have today, I think each one of us practice within our own specific tradition or lineage. Right? So is there a proper non-sectarian approach that Buddhists should adopt since we all practice in our specific lineages?
Okay, before I answer Benny's question, I'd like to emphasize this point that we no longer live in an age of isolation because it's not like the period during the Tang Dynasty that the pilgrim monks, in order to go to India, had to risk their life, travel for years in the great deserts. Today, you just fly from China to India in few hours. Today, through internet, we have Facebook Live. For the benefit of people who cannot be here. So, we are no longer living in isolation. So there is no longer an excuse for not wanting to understand Buddhist teachings in totality, Buddhist teachings of tradition different from our own in a non-discriminative sense. So on the question that Benny raised, there are two options. So the first option is more traditional. Firstly, we have to grasp, we have to have a total understanding of history of Buddhism in India, which I try to convey just now in a simple to understand manner. But if you are interested, please go and enroll in a course. There are many institutions, many universities offering you, so you can learn more about that. So it's important for you to have that total understanding. And also how Buddhism from India spread to all other regions in the world. Then after that, you can stick to one tradition and focus on one practice that suits you while respecting other Buddhist traditions. And then secondly, I think Uncle Vijaya is going to like this. Similarly, we have to have a good understanding, a good grasp of the history of Buddhism. After that, we can try to adopt the good points of all traditions. And then you have two sub-options. So you can adopt the good points of all traditions, and then you integrate them with your own tradition and practice. And then the second sub-option is what Uncle Vijaya already mentioned, is to come out with a Malaysian Buddhist tradition. You know why? Because Malaysia boleh. After all, you can have a Chinese Buddhist tradition and a Tibetan Buddhist tradition. Why not a Singaporean Buddhist tradition? Why not a Malaysian Buddhist tradition? Hai Uncle Vijaya.
Okay, so we can go back and mull on it and which option we want to take. Well, we got...
Let me say this. Of course, having said all that, have confidence in whatever you practice. Have confidence in your tradition. And you can say, this is the best tradition, but with qualification. Say, this is the best tradition for me. Okay? But for him, he can also have a best tradition that suits him. Fair enough? Okay? So in Buddhism, we can have many bests. You don't have to worry. You don't have to compete that there is only one best.
Thank you.